What it do, boy? It's your boy Milkman back at it again with another one of these videos. If you guys are enjoying, make sure you guys hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn on the bell to get notifications of when I post more videos like this. Today is mostly just about Sneako and Tate and kind of the effect I think they have on the world versus a lot of other people on the world that I think are more positive influences. One of the things that I think is just important is mental health, and you guys know that. So again, if you guys are enjoying these videos, hit the sub, hit the bell, all that stuff, of course. We'll get right into it. One of the things that I think is kind of impressive is the following that Andrew Tate has when compared to just other people in the world. One of the things I think is just fascinating is just how quickly he blew up in the past couple of months. Whether it was his idea to blow up or not, or whatever it was, it's just kind of astonishing to me to see how much he actually did blow up and just how much of a talking point he was. In just like normal news too. It wasn't just on TikTok and stuff you saw him blowing up. It was on news channels, on reality TV shows and stuff like that. So pretty crazy to me to see all the different effects he's had on the world, I guess, in a moment. Or not really effects on the world, but just how big his scope has become in such a short amount of time. One thing that I think is kind of problematic with this is almost like the fascination with him, in a sense. I'm definitely someone who doesn't think that you should just not listen to him or not listen to him, but you shouldn't just take everything he says for what he says. I think a lot of the kind of backlash he gets is based upon his previous character and kind of the things he's been a part of, whether you believe in certain things about him or whatever. Kind of the things that he's just a polarizing figure, and one of those things that can kind of bend people one way or another without really having to do much. You even state his name to some people and people are just immediately upset. Again, I think it's one of those things where I challenge you guys pretty often to challenge yourself in the idea of kind of just learning more and more and looking at different perspectives of things in order to help your own mental health. And I don't necessarily know what I think of when it comes to his mental health stuff. I haven't heard a lot of his talks about mental health. But he is in some way kind of a toxic person in general. The way he handles things, the way he goes after people, some of the things he says are just toxic. Obviously, if you're on TikTok and you hear him say things that you agree with, TikTok immediately just puts you in an algorithm to hear more things you agree with him about. But it's one of those things where it's kind of similar to Sneako as well. Sneako's not someone who I think is like super good person or bad person. That's just one of those people where he has a YouTube channel, he has a solid following, and he uses it for what he thinks is like the correct way to be living and stuff like that, and kind of the way he thinks different things should be when it comes to how you treat women and what women should be doing and shouldn't be doing. I don't really have much to say on like those two necessarily. I just kind of one of those things where I don't think we should all be living in a way that we expect to live the same way they do. I think you need to listen to a lot of different viewpoints about life in order to form your own, and just have a constantly malleable form of life, a constantly malleable brain and understanding of what you believe life is about. And I don't know if Andrew Tate and Sneako push that very much. I think they very much have their own ideals, and they talk a lot about their own ideas, and therefore you kind of learn what they do and what they want and how they want to live and what they think is right, what they think is wrong. And it's not necessarily helpful or healthy to just look at those people and think of them as the most profound and prolific things to look at. I don't know if you should look up to I can't say that you should or shouldn't look up to certain people as role models. I personally don't look up to either of them as role models. I think they both have decent viewpoints on certain things and not so great viewpoints on other things. And I think you can say that about a lot of stuff in the world. I don't think Sneako or Andrew Tate would disagree with me either. I think there's things that they agree with people on that they don't necessarily like the person, but they agree with certain aspects of their political agenda or of their just being and what they kind of stand for. I think you could do the same thing with Andrew Tate and with Sneako. I don't think you should be able to just be banned and stuff like that from different things, but at the same time, people like to flaunt the Second Amendment as my bad. I said Second Amendment. I meant First Amendment. But one of those things where I don't know if you should flaunt. You can't really flaunt the First Amendment in the idea of Second Amendment's guns. First Amendment, I don't think you can flaunt in the way of I can say whatever I want and not expect repercussions. There's a lot of things that I think people just don't understand when it comes to that amendment. Yes, you can say whatever you want according to the First Amendment, but it does not in any fashion say you can't be judged, you can't be X, Y, or Z because of your opinion. If you want to say that corporations and stuff like that, like social media corporations, are what power the world, which I would tell you is just incorrect when it comes to the grand scheme of things. Yes, they have a big influence on like what we think of and what we know, but grand scheme, like social media doesn't really affect how you run a company in general. You can own, I know there are plenty of companies out there who literally just don't have any social media presence and are still massive social media, are massively profitable, massively just doing well or whatever it is. So it's one of those things where as much as you want to say like they do have that much pull on this world, at least in the US, they really don't. If you deleted all of your social media, it really wouldn't fucking matter. No one wouldn't, it wouldn't really matter. Nobody would care too terribly much. You wouldn't be like stressing. I know it's hard for some people to quit social media, but it really is one of those things where when people do it, they just think that it improves people's quality of life when they don't have social media, which is proof to the point of they don't have that much impact on us if we were to eliminate them entirely. And overall, you would have a better life without them. So obviously the social media influencers, it's horrendous to think of the idea of like TikTok being gone, of Insta being gone, of Twitter being gone and stuff like that. Like, it'd be crazy. But to every pretty much normal person who works a 9 to 5, social media really doesn't matter. If you're working a 9 to 5 at a table, nobody gives a shit about the PetSmart 9 to 5 people. Like, it's not like their social media matters. So it's one of those things where I think you guys need to challenge yourselves and kind of disconnecting for a little bit just to see how your life really is without it, and see like what your life could be like if you just didn't have social media. And I think that Sneako and Andrew Tate wouldn't ever tell you that because they make their money doing that. I don't know if either of them would agree with that in the sense. I really don't know. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I just don't know if they would. Back to the point though, I just don't know if I can look at Sneako and Andrew Tate and say they are positive influences on men. I do think, again, there are certain things they say that I do agree with. When both of them kind of talk about doing your own thing and like just disconnecting and deciding you're going to be better for yourself. That's a solid, I think, life lesson to understand, is that you really can't, no one's ever going to make your life better except yourself. And they both kind of push that idea. I don't think that's an idea solely attached to them. There's plenty of people that I listen to, like Tony Goggins, or David Goggins, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jordan Peterson, who's under a little bit of fire right now. But all of those guys, I think, are more stand-up men than Andrew Tate and Sneako. More or less for the reason of Andrew Tate and Sneako, at least to our knowledge, don't have kids. And all of the people I just named actually have kids and have lived through having kids and can explain to you what it's like to have a wife and a healthy relationship like that. Andrew Tate, obviously I don't know if they have kids, but they speak a lot on like kind of the idea of like women and like what they should be doing and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where according to them, they think they're right. According to others, they're not right. But to you guys, the general public and everyone else in between, you really have to kind of like live that scenario to understand what's right and what you think is good for you. You might be a little bit more of the Andrew Tate side of stuff and want to be the one that supports and everything like that. But there's also women out there who are very caring and would also do a job and work and be able to suffice for themselves and help you out in any way. And I think you guys need to pursue those kind of women, I guess. I don't think you need to pursue super, I don't know, whatever kind of woman you just don't like. You guys need to find people who really do agree with, or not agree with you, but agree with your like stances on like living in a house together, living together, and what you guys want to do and who gets to do what and stuff like that. And understanding that it's a really personal thing when it comes to relationships. And I don't know. I'm a big person of not judging people, and it's difficult to, which I'm kind of doing it right now, but I'm also trying to leave a little bit of openness for them because I really don't know them. But when it comes to like just like going after women and stuff like that, one, I would tell you going after women doesn't do anything and you never wind up with anyone. Both of the people I've been with and dated, I literally wasn't looking for a relationship at the time, and it just happened to come around. And I've been dating Brooke now for over 2 years now. So one of those things where if you guys are searching for it, it's very difficult to find because you'll, I don't know, just certain things happen when you're like searching for stuff and kind of like desperate, I guess. Even when you're not desperate and you're just kind of like looking, it can be kind of difficult and you just like run into different problems. So it's one of those things where I think for you guys, you have to explore what it means to be a man for you. And I do think there are certain things that you guys need to uphold in yourselves. I do think you need to work out because it just scientifically helps your brain, helps your body feel better, makes you able to do more, gives you more energy. Like there's just so many benefits of working out. Learning is another thing that I challenge you guys to do, is just learn more shit all the time. Whether you just look up shit really fast, you look up one weird fact about an animal a day and you create this catalog of weird things that you know about animals, or business, stocks, whatever it is. I also think you guys need to, explore yourselves when it comes to like your mental health and stuff like that. Of course, I think you guys, I think everybody struggles with some sort of it. I think Andrew Tate did at some point too. I think Sneako did at some point too. And those guys are very successful, and I would venture to guess that they, went through their mental health stuff and were able to figure their lives out after they understood that they could get through that kind of thing. So, kind of in closing remarks, I guess I want to push you guys to challenge yourselves to be strong mentally, because being strong mentally is what leads to having a strong relationship, having good business relationships, doing well in life and stuff like that. And I think that is kind of the main point of this video. Is I don't want you guys to get stuck looking at Andrew Tate and Sneako and different people and thinking like, oh, I need to live like them, because grand scheme, there are things that Andrew Tate has done that are not good, things that he has said that aren't very healthy in my opinion, maybe not in your opinion, but there are certain things that he has said that aren't very strong or very healthy. Same thing with Sneako, but Sneako and Andrew Tate both have ideas that are like, probably not the worst. Working out is not a bad idea. Working on yourself is not a bad idea. That kind of thing is not a bad thing to do for yourselves. And I think you guys need to understand that that's good. Like, you guys need to listen to those parts of everybody's speech. I'm saying it, they're saying it, whatever it is. But you also need to understand that there are more viewpoints of life than just us three. I know I have a small following. They have much bigger followings than I do, but doesn't change the fact that me posting a video and you guys watching it is important to you guys, and understanding my viewpoint on life might be helpful to you guys. And this kind of whole goal of these videos is to let you guys know that like I do care. If you guys have something you want to talk about, I'm always there for it. I'm always ready to make a video about it. And just understanding that you guys need to keep learning in order to form a real collective viewpoint of life and what you think is good for yourself, because what's good for you is going to be completely different for someone else. Someone might look at your life and be like, yeah, that's shitty, and then you think of your life as like good, and that's kind of all you want. Andrew Tate has said a lot of stuff about like when you're upset about life, that's supposed to like motivate you to go and do other shit to make your life better, which I think is also a valuable point. When you're upset about life and upset about like where you are in the moment, I think working to be better is what you should be trying to do. If you're upset with how much money you make, upset with your living standards, whatever it is, pushing yourself to be better is what that is supposed to do. And I think that's just kind of the grand scheme of this conversation, is understanding that life is constantly changing. You should always be learning, and you should always be listening to different viewpoints in order to actually get a real understanding of what you believe is right and wrong, and not really caring about what other people say about your belief system, I guess. Obviously you shouldn't have I don't want you to have a bad belief system or like negative belief system and think that like life is not going well or like whatever it is. I don't want you guys to be upset if you are upset, but working on yourself is more ideal to making life better and understanding what you truly are meant to do and meant to be. And I think that's kind of the point of my conversation. I would always point you towards Tony Robbins and David Goggins as two very strong motivational people to listen to. Listen to their stories and stuff like that too. They're just like very intelligent when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, mental strength. Jordan Peterson's a psychologist, and he's under fire for some trans stuff he was talking about at the time a little while ago. So you get take it with a grain of salt, I guess. I still like him. He still has, I think, good viewpoints other than the one that he said before. But yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys haven't already, drop a like, leave something in the comments you guys want me to talk about. I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys have a good one. Spread the love, spread the joy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.